Blue Cantrell just came forward with allegations so serious, they've got the entire internet questioning everything we thought we knew about Beyonce. We're not just talking about career sabotage or industry politics anymore. Blue is claiming that Beyonce allegedly tried to end her life. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't about stolen songs or petty beef. According to Blue, this goes way deeper into territory that involves fear, control, and an incident back in 2014 that left her screaming in the streets about poisonous ass. For years, people brushed off that moment as a mental breakdown, another celebrity losing it under pressure. But Blue's now saying there was way more to the story, and it all connects back to Beyonce's alleged obsession with protecting her relationship with Jay-Z at any cost. The accusations are wild, the timeline is suspicious, and fans are pulling receipts that make this whole situation look darker than anyone imagined. Blue Cantrell was and still should be one of the hottest names in R&B, with Grammy nominations and platinum success. Then, suddenly, she vanished. No more albums, no more singles, no more presence in the industry. And now she's telling us exactly why that happened, pointing fingers at the most powerful couple in music and claiming they used their influence to destroy her career and possibly worse. This story has layers that go back over 2 decades, and every piece of it is messier than the last.
So let's go back to where this all started, because the Blue Cantrell and Jay-Z connection goes way back to the late 90s. Blue was working as a backup vocalist for major artists like Diddy, and that's when she crossed paths with Jay-Z. They got close. Really close, and people in the industry started whispering that there might be something more than friendship happening between them. At the time, Jay-Z was still trying to figure out his situation with Beyonce, making his moves, but not fully committed yet. He'd also just gotten rejected by Aaliyah, which allegedly left him feeling some type of way about putting all his energy into one woman. So, according to rumors, he kept Blue around as a backup plan, someone he could lean on if things with Beyonce didn't work out. Blue was talented, beautiful, and had that R&B star power that could match Beyonce's energy if needed. In 2001, Blue dropped her debut album, So Blue, and it was a massive success. The album hit number 8 on the Billboard 200, had multiple top 10 singles, and earned her 2 Grammy nominations. Within 2 weeks, it went gold. She wasn't just another singer trying to make it. She was a legitimate star with serious industry backing from people like L.A. Reid, who signed her to Arista Records. And during all of this success, her relationship with Jay-Z kept getting closer and more suspicious.
By 2003, things started getting competitive in a way that felt personal. Blue dropped her second album, Bittersweet, that year, and around the same time, Beyonce released her debut solo album, Dangerously in Love. Both women were talented R&B singers, both were connected to Jay-Z in different ways, and now they were directly competing in the same space. Fans started comparing them, the media started pitting them against each other, and tension was brewing behind the scenes. But it wasn't just about music. There were rumors that both women had feelings for Jay-Z, and that created a whole other layer of drama. Beyonce was publicly dating him by this point, but whispers about Jay-Z and Blue never fully went away. People in the industry were side-eyeing the situation, wondering what was really going on. And then Blue did something that made everything worse. She sat down for an interview with Wendy Williams, and anyone who remembers Wendy back then knows she didn't hold back. Wendy went straight for the jugular and asked Blue point blank if she had ever kissed Jay-Z romantically. That was the perfect moment for Blue to shut down the rumors once and for all, to laugh it off and say no. But instead, she dodged the question completely, giggling and refusing to give a straight answer. That response told people everything they needed to know. If nothing happened, why not just say so? The way she acted made it seem like there was definitely something to hide.
But Blue didn't stop there. During that same interview, Wendy made a comment about how Jay-Z chose Beyonce because she was younger, and Blue jumped in with a response that was straight up disrespectful. She said Beyonce was more naive and easier to manipulate than she was, implying that Jay-Z wanted someone he could control rather than someone who would challenge him. That comment was brutal, and it painted Beyonce as weak and easily influenced. Fans were shocked that Blue would say something like that so publicly, especially when Beyonce hadn't done anything to her at that point. It felt unnecessary and catty, like Blue was trying to position herself as the stronger, smarter woman in the situation. But what she didn't realize was that those words would come back to haunt her in a major way. Around the same time, Blue started publicly accusing Beyonce of copying her work. When Beyonce and Jay-Z dropped the music video for their song Bonnie and Clyde, Blue immediately claimed they stole the concept from her own music video for the song Hit 'Em Up Style. Then, when Beyonce released Baby Boy featuring Sean Paul, Blue accused her again because she had worked with Sean Paul first on her song Breathe. The accusations kept coming, and it felt like Blue was trying to paint Beyonce as someone who had no original ideas and just copied what other artists were doing. Fans also started analyzing Beyonce's song Resentment, where she sings about being hurt by a Pisces. Jay-Z is a Sagittarius, Beyonce is a Virgo, and Blue Cantrell is a Pisces. People connected those dots real quick and started speculating that Beyonce was subtly admitting Jay-Z had cheated on her with Blue.
Then came the interview that allegedly ended Blue Cantrell's career for good. She sat down with The Guardian, and when they asked her about Beyonce, Blue did not hold back. She called Beyonce immature and said if Beyonce wanted to come for her, it would be the wrong move. She told Beyonce to be careful about what she was getting into and suggested that if there were issues in her relationship with Jay-Z, she should address them with him instead of taking it out on other women. That statement was bold, direct, and honestly, kind of threatening in tone. Blue was essentially warning Beyonce to stay in her lane and not try anything. But what happened next was eerie. After that interview, Blue Cantrell's career just stopped. No new albums, no singles, no features, nothing. For someone who had back-to-back successful projects and Grammy nominations, that kind of disappearance doesn't make sense unless something or someone was blocking her from moving forward. Industry insiders started whispering that Blue had been blacklisted, that powerful people were making sure she couldn't get any deals or opportunities. And considering the timing of everything, fans started pointing fingers at Beyonce and Jay-Z, saying they used their influence to shut Blue out completely.
By 2013, Blue tried to make a comeback. She announced that she had left her label and was working on a third album as a free agent. Fans were excited to hear new music from her after so many years of silence, but that album never came. Instead, something much darker happened in 2014. Blue Cantrell was found in the streets of Santa Monica, California at 2 in the morning, screaming and claiming that someone had tried to kill her with poisonous gas. She was visibly distressed, terrified, and convinced that her life was in danger. Police and paramedics arrived on the scene and eventually took her to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. The media immediately ran with the story, calling it a mental breakdown and suggesting that Blue was struggling with drugs or having some kind of psychotic episode. But here's the thing, Blue wasn't on drugs. Doctors who treated her confirmed there were no substances in her system. Yet the tabloids kept pushing that narrative anyway. It felt like someone wanted the public to believe she was crazy and unstable so that no one would take her claims seriously. And if you think that sounds familiar, it's because the exact same thing happened to Martin Lawrence back in 1996. Martin was found at a busy intersection in Los Angeles holding a gun and screaming that people were trying to kill him. The media said he was on drugs and having a breakdown. But doctors later confirmed there were no drugs in his system either. Both situations involved celebrities claiming someone was trying to harm them. Both were dismissed as mental health crises, and both were swept under the rug without real investigation.
Fast forward to recent years, and Jaguar Wright stepped into the conversation to call out what she believes really happened. Jaguar has never been afraid to speak her mind about industry secrets, and she specifically called on Blue Cantrell to come forward and tell the truth. She said that Jay-Z worked very hard to erase Blue from the industry, just like he allegedly did with other women who got too close to him or knew too much. Jaguar compared Blue's situation to what happened with Aaliyah. with R. Kelly and with other artists who mysteriously fell off after crossing paths with Jay-Z. She encouraged Blue to speak up and share her side of the story because the truth needed to come out. And it seems like Jaguar's words lit a fire under Blue because she's now opening up about what really went down. Blue recently spoke out saying that she was taken advantage of by powerful people in the industry who worked together to destroy what was hers. She mentioned that her lawyer ended up representing the very people who were trying to harm her career, which created a major conflict of interest. Essentially, the people who were supposed to protect her were actually working against her behind the scenes. Blue said that nobody knows the full truth except her and the people involved, but she's making it clear that she was betrayed and manipulated in ways that cost her everything.
But the most shocking part of all this is the claim that's now circulating from insiders close to Blue. According to sources, Blue believes that Beyonce was behind the 2014 incident where she was found screaming about poisonous gas. The claim is that Beyonce allegedly got tired of Blue speaking on her name and talking about the affair with Jay-Z, so she decided to take more extreme measures to silence her. Now, we have to be clear that these are allegations and there's no concrete proof, but the timing and circumstances are suspicious enough that people are taking it seriously. Blue had been under the public eye for years. She was trying to restart her career, and suddenly she ends up in a terrifying situation that gets dismissed as a breakdown. Fans are pointing out that this is a pattern we've seen before with other women who've been connected to Jay-Z or who've allegedly crossed Beyonce. Careers get destroyed, reputations get ruined, and anyone who tries to speak out gets labeled as crazy or bitter. The power dynamics at play are undeniable, and people are starting to question just how far Beyonce and Jay-Z are willing to go to protect their image and their empire.
So where does all of this leave us? Blue Cantrell was a talented artist with a promising career who suddenly disappeared from the industry after publicly calling out Beyonce and talking about her connection to Jay-Z. Years later, she ends up in a terrifying situation that gets dismissed as a mental health crisis despite no evidence of drug use. And now she's speaking out, claiming she was blacklisted and taken advantage of by powerful people who wanted to erase her. Fans are connecting the dots and seeing a pattern of women being silenced when they get too close to Jay-Z or threaten Beyonce's position. Whether Blue will fully expose everything she knows remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. This story goes way deeper than petty industry beef. This is about power, control, and what happens when you cross people who have the influence to make you disappear. The internet is divided on whether to believe Blue's allegations, with some people saying she's finally telling the truth, and others claiming she's just bitter about her career not working out. But given everything we've seen over the years, the mysterious disappearances, the silenced voices, the women who tried to speak up and got destroyed, it's hard to ignore the possibility that there's real darkness behind the scenes. Blue Cantrell might just be the next person brave enough to pull back the curtain and expose what's really been happening. And if she does, the fallout could be massive. So what do you think? Is Blue telling the truth about what Beyonce allegedly did to her? Or is this just another case of someone trying to blame their failed career on a powerful couple? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update on this story. Click the next video on your screen for more shocking celebrity drama that you need to hear about. So where does all of this leave us? Blue Cantrell was a talented artist with a promising career who suddenly disappeared from the industry after publicly calling out Beyonce and talking about her connection to Jay-Z. Years later, she ends up in a terrifying situation that gets dismissed as a mental health crisis despite no evidence of drug use. And now she's speaking out, claiming she was blacklisted and taken advantage of by powerful people who wanted to erase her. Fans are connecting the dots and seeing a pattern of women being silenced when they get too close to Jay-Z or threaten Beyonce's position. Whether Blue will fully expose everything she knows remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, this story goes way deeper than petty industry beef. This is about power,
control, and what happens when you cross people who have the influence to make you disappear. The internet is divided on whether to believe Blue's allegations, with some people saying she's finally telling the truth and others claiming she's just bitter about her career not working out. But given everything we've seen over the years, the mysterious disappearances, the silenced voices, the women who tried to speak up and got destroyed, it's hard to ignore the possibility that there's real darkness behind the scenes. Blue Cantrell might just be the next person brave enough to pull back the curtain and expose what's really been happening. And if she does, the fallout could be massive. So what do you think? Is Blue telling the truth about what Beyonce allegedly did to her? Or is this just another case of someone trying to blame their failed career on a powerful couple? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update on this story. Click the next video on your screen for more shocking celebrity drama that you need to hear about.